It's a house that goes almost unnoticed in this residential neighborhood of Charleroi, but every day, victims of sexual violence come knocking at the door.
I just wanted to let you know that a victim will be arriving in 30 minutes.
Do you know anything more about the situation?
No, colleagues went home to take care of her.
We're not authorized to film this woman, but here she will find comprehensive support, first from a psychologist.
How did it go with the victim?
Yeah, actually, she doesn't want to file a complaint, so we're going to start psychological support next week.
In addition to psychologists, there are nurses, doctors, and even on-duty police officers who can take complaints directly on site. This inspector has received special training in cases of sexual violence.
They're already feeling quite unwell about what they've experienced and don't need to repeat what happened to many different people. They need to be properly supported by a trained professional who will listen to them, understand them, and explore possible solutions.
This training is all the more crucial when the victim is a minor. At this center, more than half of the people received are children or teenagers.
These are emotion dolls, which are often used by psychologists to interact with the child and observe their feelings.
Everything is in place to ensure victims can fully express their experiences.
Before, victims had to go through a real ordeal to get help from different places. They would encounter professionals who weren't specifically trained and whose approach wasn't always appropriate. This led to a lot of secondary victimization, sometimes with even more lasting effects from the staff's subsequent comments, which could even surpass the initial assault, which is already very difficult to cope with. CPVS, this is Sophie. I was calling to check in. How are you doing?
There are about 10 centers like this one in Belgium.
Except that you felt heard and you had the feeling that you weren't alone in having to deal with all of this.
It all began in 2017 with this pilot program located in the heart of a hospital in central Brussels.
It's important that this is a discreet place for victims, so they feel safe. It's on the hospital grounds, close to the emergency room, but it's a separate service with no through traffic.
As in Charleroi, several professions collaborate here. Today, the police are collecting the evidence gathered in recent days to hand over to the authorities.
Here we have 3 bags of clothing for this week and the DVD of the interview.
These are valuable samples for the legal process for victims who decide to file a complaint.
Before the CPVS opened, we had a complaint filing rate of around 12%. Now we're seeing a complaint filing rate at the CPVS of over 50%. And the files are of better quality than before because they are now more than 30 pages long and the samples taken are of a higher quality because they're collected by trained staff.
Not to mention another factor likely to encourage legal action. For victims who don't wish to file a complaint immediately, the CPVS keeps the evidence for 6 months.
We know that sexual violence is completely underestimated in society. So certainly, if we encourage the reporting of these types of complaints and encourage the filing of complaints in court, we'll undoubtedly see an increase in the workload of the judicial system, which must be taken into account in terms of refinancing.
In 10 years, prosecutions for sexual offenses have increased by 50% in Belgium, but more than half of the cases are dropped.